Hello, stranger. It's been a minute since we last kicked it. And by the way, just got in town, and I won't let cumulus clouds all in the sky ruin my vibe. Usually I don't do this often, but since recruiting isn't an option due to unusual rain and thunder, baby I wonder, would you just put your sweats on for me? Yeah. I got the plug, I made the call for me. I'm talking late night for you. Let me lay a great time on you. Don't hesitate, no, don't you? Just say you will. Come through and chill. Just say you will.
Every second, every minute, man, I swear that she can get it. Saying you a bad bitch, put your hands up high, hands up high, hands up high. Tell them dim the lights down right now, put me in the mood. I'm talking about dark room, perfume, go.
I recognize your fragrance, hold up, you ain't never gotta say shit, and I know your taste is a little bit, high maintenance, everybody else basic, you live life on an everyday basis, with poetic justice. If I told you that a flower bloomed in a dark room, would you trust it? I mean, I write poems in these songs, dedicated to you when you're in the mood for empathy, there's blood in my pen, better yet with your friends and them, I really wanna know you off, I really wanna show you off, fuck God, pour up plenty of champagne, cold nights when you curse this name, you called up your girlfriends and y'all curled in that little bitty range, I heard that, she wanna go and party, nigga don't approach her with that Atari, nigga that ain't good, came home and sorry, they say conversation, rule a nation, I can tell, but I could never right my wrongs, unless I write it down for real, P.S. You can get it, you can get it, you can get it.
Something with all the distractions that you have off the field, how are you able to keep focused on winning football games as you do and do throughout the year? When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, baby.
Marketing come up with that for him. Those were his phrases that he came up with, that he believed in.
Just win. Play hard. Try not to make mistakes. But don't worry about mistakes because there's only one thing that counts. Just win. Just win.
Yo, welcome to the 2-for-1 Nation podcast. Also, your boy SC Experience, aka boy Eric, and my boy Raider Twuan in the building as well. What's good with you, Twuan? How you feeling, man?
Hey, 2-for-1 Nation podcast. We in the building. I can't wait for this. You know what I'm saying? Every time we get together, it's always something special. 2-for-1. Yeah, it's always special. So shout out to everybody. Blessings to everybody in the chat.
Yep, and we got a lot of things to talk about with this Buffalo Raiders game, man. It's going to be an interesting one, especially after what happened Monday Night Football. We will talk about all this right now and more. But let me give a shout out to everybody that's so far in here, man. Shout out to Robert Pena in the building. Salute North Cal Raider Jesse also in the building. Shout out to Charm City. Salute. Let me see. Auntie Six Soldiers also in the building. Raider Paul was good. Raider Paul. Good to see you. Hope all is well. Anthony Estrada. Salute. Good to see everybody in here. Who's got a longest intro? Eric or Benter? I think Ben does. Ben respectfully has a longer intro than me. We're leaving Buffalo with the dub, man. Hey, high possibility, and we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna break it down. Shout out to everybody that's in here. Charles Washington, salute. Good to see everybody. Hopefully, I didn't skip anybody. If I did, just win, baby. That's what it's all about, man. We got 24 people already here, man. If you guys can't, go hit that like button for both SC Experience and Raider Twuan, man. We're both simulcasting on both channels, man. The 2-for-1 podcast, of course. Nation, my bad. I'm so used to podcasting, bro. I just be always having that podcast term in my brain. But shout out to everybody, man. Let's talk. Let's go straight into it, man. And I want to start off obviously with week 1 review, right? The week 1 was an interesting week, right? Usually week 1 we see how players are, what teams are, what they're about. And I don't know if you watched the Monday Night Football, but it was a very, very interesting game that kind of makes me kind of like wonder what Buffalo and Raiders has for us. But how did you feel about week 1, man? Both in general or with the Raiders and Bills?
You talking about my thoughts on the Bills game and the Jets, or is that what you're asking?
Yeah, let's start off with that. How did you feel about that Buffalo game, man? What did you see from Buffalo themselves?
It's very interesting, and there's a lot of things that we can pull from that. I know that we're probably going to dive into that, but just week 1, if we want to jump into how we did, I think there's a lot of things that we did well. There was a lot of things that we did that we definitely do need to clean up. You know what I'm saying? If we are, if our sights are to get to the playoffs and even beyond that, host, have a Lombardi in our hands. So, but hey, it's week 1, so I just want to see improvement from that. We're here. Let's keep climbing, you know what I'm saying, and stacking these wins as they come before us. So I'm excited about it, man.
It's an interesting. After the game, it kind of made me realize certain things, right? I was trying to go back from last year to this year because sometimes you see the same thing over again every year from a certain team, and it's Buffalo. Buffalo always, with Josh Allen specifically, has always really not done the greatest in first games in the seasons. Last year, he had 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions in his first game. They did win that game, and now the little bit of a difference is that he only had a touchdown, I believe, and 3 interceptions this time. So it looks like he regressed a little. He went, but it also seems like the same thing over again, where he messes up the first game, and then the second game usually is where he comes out guns blazing. Last year, he went into the second game scoring 4 touchdowns and 0 interceptions, over 400 yards. So he's a quarterback that could easily turn it around. So I'm not gonna be like a lot of people. It's gonna be like it's gonna be easy. It's not gonna be easy, and that defense is nobody to play with. Go ahead.
And also, it could be fool's gold, and also, and I say that in the sense of, a lot of these quarterbacks, we've talked about it in other situations where, we wish our quarterback, or we wish that certain people would have played in the preseason, and if they're not getting those in the preseason, you kind of see them getting off to a slower, start. That's, you have, like, think about all the players, all the teams and quarterbacks that we identify are the top quarterbacks in this league that didn't play in the preseason, but then they lost week 1. Joe Burrow lost. Who else lost? You know what I'm saying? Like, there was a whole bunch of top tier quarterbacks that week 1, they may have not been to their, the playing abilities that we know that they can be. So it can be fool's gold. We don't know what Josh Allen we're going to get, week 2. But if he plays like he played last week, we do got a shot. I'll say that. We just got to capitalize on it when they do hit our hands.
Shout out to Egalitarian joining us. Dirty Eric in the building. He already giving his prediction. He says 28-17. Book it for sure, man. We gonna keep that comment, man, and see if you're right. Shout out to Sebastian Gonzalez, man. He said Mark Davis sent 2 planes to West Virginia. We all business. They're already over there, I believe. Yeah, they're already
Yeah.
over there. In general, they're already over there, so that's good. Devontae Adams is back. We'll talk a little bit about the injury report right now. Devontae Adams is back. That's good news. I know there was a little bit of concern among the nation, a lot to do with Devontae Adams. Oh my God, it's an ankle injury. Oh my God, he's gonna relax. Sometimes this happens. A little tweak, that's it, and he's
Yeah.
back. Um,
And
it
the
looks
reason
like
why
yeah,
and the reason why they had to send 2 planes was because they had to bring all of their,
Yep.
not just the team. They had to bring their whole staff. That means their cooks. That means everything in preparation for the game and things that they needed. So everything that we have at the Intermountain Health Center in Henderson, they had to pack up all of that staff-wise and stuff
Yeah.
like that and move that over to the facility that they had. So that's why there was 2 planes, because you needed a plane. Of course, the team alone is probably going to fill up a plane, and then saying the help staff, no discredit to them, but the help staff, that's almost a full plane in themselves. So yeah, two planes.
And of course they're playing at Buffalo. If anybody didn't know, they're of course playing at Buffalo, East Coast at the end of the day. The Raiders got to get used to that time, that East Coast time over there. And that's why they went early, which I love. I love that. Go early, get situated. For me, and we'll get more into depth. I have confidence in this game. Pretty sure Twan has confidence in the game. A lot of people have confidence in this game. It's not gonna be an easy one for either side. Whoever comes out on top, but I will say, um, you'll see right now. You'll see. I don't want to give up too much away on the topic. Shout out to the numbers in the building. Sebastian Gonzalez in the building. Good to see everybody joining us, man. Good to see everybody. We lose to the Bills, but over Steelers and Chargers put us at 3-1. Okay, that's an interesting prediction. Shout out to Tubi Chile as well. What's good? What's good, Chile? Good to see you. Let's get straight into the injury report, like I talked about. Let me try to zoom in for this. Give me a second.
Hey, before he gets into it, man, I don't see it. I don't see enough Capri Suns and brown crackers in the chat. I need those flowing. Get that flowing.
You
Y'all
already know, man.
Two for one nation podcast is brown crackers and Capri Suns around here. We got to get them flowing in the chat, y'all. And click that like button.
Yep. We appreciate everybody's support, man. But you already know what emotes we use out here. But of course, this is what the injury report as of today. Devontae Adams did not participate yesterday, but he did become a full participant as of today. Great news for us. We need him out there, especially with you'll see their pass defense, what they're capable of. DeAndre Carter did not participate yesterday. Limited participation today. Looks like he's gonna be a go. Jimmy Garoppolo, limited, full participant today. Let me keep going down the list. Chandler Jones once again did not participate all week, so he looks like he's out again. Jacoby Myers did not participate all week, which most likely at this point on a Thursday, if you're not a participant and you're in concussion protocol, that's a big no-no for next game. So Jacoby Myers looks like he's not going to be there, and we need some other people to step up like Hunter Renfrow. We'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later. Jordan Meredith, of course, became a limited participant and did not participate as of today. But of course, he is our backup guard at the end of the day. Monitor that if we take somebody from the practice squad and bring them in order to start there. To be a backup. Of course, scrolling a little bit more down, Trayvon Merrick did not participate yesterday, became full participant today. And Jermaine Illuminor, they didn't know his status yesterday, but limited participation as of today. So he will be a go. And it looks like Buffalo's pretty much healthy. That's what it looks like. The Buffalo Bills will be fully out there, fully healthy on Sunday. And it's going to be something to really look at. So that's the quick little injury report. Anything catch your eye, Twan, from the injury report?
I just want people to keep calm. You know what I'm saying, with Devontae Adams. I feel like, and this is just my personal opinion, and you guys know how I talk. I share my opinion, and you guys make your own thoughts and opinions. But I feel like with DA, like he could come out there if they have a Saturday practice and if he's good to go on Sunday, get him out there. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's going I don't think he's going to miss much if he misses a day. And if he needs to get wrapped up or whatever for whatever that injury is that he has, that's good. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not worried about him trotting out. And Jacoby Myers, that situation, I as soon as he got injured, I was already expecting that he was going to be out at least, a week, and not and of course I would love for him to be a part of playing with us, and definitely he is a weapon for us. Obviously, we've seen that last week, but yeah, the NFL's not playing around with what's going on, in between your ears, so yeah, if he's out 1 week, I'm okay with that. We actually, and I'll say this, we have enough talent, that I don't think we're really going to miss Jacoby Myers. We can use other guys, and we got depth to fix that. So hopefully he gets better and he can be ready for week 3. I know it's still it's not official that he's out, but I'm already looking and kind of thinking that they might not let him run.
And I'm cool with that. Like you said, we have a lot of depth at that wide receiver position, and I love that. I honestly love that we have that much depth. And shout out to Raider Gabe in the building. It was good, Raider Gabe. He said 2-for-1 Figueroa deal. Just use my promo code Brown Crackers or Lunchable. Shout out to Gabe in the building. Shout out to also I believe Protect the Shield podcast was good. PTS. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hope all is well. Shout out to everybody that's in here. And yeah, that's crazy. They still haven't fined Kareem Jackson for that hit, so it's kind of interesting. But shout out to everybody in here, man. Shout out to Raider Romel also in the building. When Renfro was in a protocol, he was out for 3 weeks, and like I said, I'm not as worried. Like if I would have been like last year. We have a lot of depth, like Twan stated, and Hunter Renfro. He's gonna play a big part in this game. Renfro was open a lot of the times last week, and that's no shade to Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo did his thing, but I feel like they need to build that chemistry between Jimmy Garoppolo and Hunter Renfro, and this is the perfect chance to do it against a team where most likely they're gonna do everything they can to stop Devontae Adams. Best believe they're gonna scheme around Devontae Adams, and you'll see who's gonna be you'll see who's gonna have to step up in the meantime. But shout out to everybody, man. That was the injury report. Pretty much Buffalo Bills all healthy. The only significant loss to us is Jacoby Myers at the end of the day. And shout out to Al's Ghost in the building as well. Um, let's get straight into it, man. I got some questions. Not even Twan knows the questions because I wanna see him kind of give me like
Auntie Six asked a good question in the chat, but we might have to get to that later on because that's a little off the subject. But
let me see. Okay, but I'll start so we could come to it a little bit later.
You see it, right?
Yeah.
There's a method to my madness. I'll just say that.
But smart.
We'll get back to
it. But let's get straight into it, man. Let's talk about the quarterbacks on both sides of the ball. Let's first start off with Jimmy Garoppolo. The question is, Jimmy Garoppolo, can he be effective against a Bills defense that only allowed 140 yards, a touchdown, and an interception to Zach Wilson? The floor is yours.
I think he can, and I think this game actually fits well with him. I would be a little risky if he started to throw the deep ball against this team because I like their secondary. I think that's one of the stronger suits that they have over there with the Bills. And yeah, if he starts trying to throw it super deep, he might run into trouble. But I think if he's picking it, in the middle, and being aggressive, in the middle of the field, I think that will work well for him. And I think that's Jimmy G's game. So I think he might have a if he stays accurate, continues to stay accurate, I think he'll do well against the Bills in that way of style of play.
Facts. And at the end of the day, they did it to Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson is not the best of quarterbacks, obviously. Jimmy Garoppolo is obviously better, way better than Zach Wilson. And that's no bias. That's just facts. You go look at the stats. You go look at the play. You know for a damn fact Jimmy Garoppolo has the edge. So for me, I do feel like he's going to be effective against the Bills. Um, at the end of the day, they have, how do I say this? We have better weapons than what the Jets have. No offense to the Jets, they are building something over there, but at the end of the day, they don't got the weapons we got. Like Devontae alone is already better than any weapon that they have over there in New York. So for me, I do think Jimmy Garoppolo can be effective against the Bills defense. Um, I can't predict yards and touchdowns, but I will say a better stat line than you see down there that they gave to Zach Wilson, for sure, for sure. Um, but
Yeah,
yeah,
in that situation of Zach Wilson, they weren't expecting to have Zach Wilson tried out there, so they had to really
yeah,
flip their script, and you know what I'm saying, literally exactly flip their script of plays because they weren't expecting that, and you notice that in their style of play that they wasn't even allowing Zach Wilson to even throw the ball down the field. So that even sucked the defense in closer towards the line of scrimmage. And, you know, they still were able to run against, they were still running good yardage against the, you know what I'm saying, against them. So, but that ain't happening with us. We have weapons. They still, even if Jimmy G doesn't throw the ball down the field, they
yeah,
still have to respect that we have receivers that can go down the field. So
yeah.
they're not going to be able to cover, you know what I'm saying, suck their defense closer to the line of scrimmage. Because of that, they're going to have to try to, they're going to have to play us as honest as possible. So we'll see how that works out.
Facts. And shout out to Al's Ghost in the building. Also, shout out to your boo. Your boo is in the building as well. In in the in the building. Shout out to Charles Washington. Jimmy G will be as good as the online does their job. We'll talk about the online right now, and I have some interesting stats for you guys for there too. So that's Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, um, it kind of transitions to the other quarterback on the other side. Actually, I'll get to that right now. Let's just go straight into the offensive line, right? That's gonna protect Jimmy Garoppolo on that day. And the question, of course, is can the offensive line that allowed 0 sacks in 26 attempts protect? So they allowed 0 sacks on Jimmy Garoppolo last week against a really good Broncos defense against a Buffalo Bills line that pass rushed for 43.5% of the time out there, which means let me give you a perspective how good that is. The average and considered high percentage in the NFL is 30%. They're 13.5% above that highest percentage rate, which is really damn good. Um, Against a Jets team that has a decent online, in my opinion. So the question is there, Twan. Do you feel like this offensive line could hold up against this Buffalo defensive line?
In the past, yes. And the reason
Mm,
why is I feel like if Jimmy G, again, it all goes back to the Jimmy G style of play.
yep.
If Jimmy G can continue getting the ball out quick, that means our offensive line ain't really blocking. You know what I'm saying? By the time they really get some good hands on the D lineman, the
Yeah.
ball's already coming out of his hand. And there was a lot of plays that we saw last week where it looked like he was taking a two-step and boop,
Hmm.
1-2, out. You know what I'm saying? So if he's doing that, that means the offensive line ain't really even blocking that much. So if we can stay on that, stay to schedule, then we won't run into that big number of
Yep.
43.5. And that's a scary a
Yeah.
stat. But in our situation, it actually can benefit if we can stay on schedule.
Facts. And shout out to Milka Beezy in the building. Shout out to everybody that's walking in here. And of course, when it comes to this offensive line, I do feel like they will allow a sack against the Buffalo Bills, but nothing too serious. I will expect a sack. But that's no discredit to our offensive line. That just means the Buffalo Bills are just that good on that defensive line front. They're way better than the Broncos defensive line. But at the end of the day, I do feel confident about this offensive line to do good enough to let Jimmy G rock, let Jimmy G do his thing, and also full blown transition to one of our main superstars, of course, on this team. And you may ask, right? You're looking at these, everybody's looking at these stats that I'm saying, and you're like, that's the passing game, Eric. How did the Jets magically win? Well, it's the run game. It's the run game that tortured the Bills. And what does that mean? JJ's time to come back to his form. The Raiders' run game, can it be effective? Josh Jacobs last week only had 19 attempts for 48 yards, 2.5 yards per carry, which of course, Josh Jacobs said he was rusty. But mind this, Bills' rush defense last week against the Jets allowed 172 yards, 6.1 yards per carry in 28 attempts, and that's the reason they lost. Now, I'm gonna try to tweak the question. You think this is JJ's return game right here, Twuan?
I think so.
Mm.
I think so. I'm holding on to this is the second game of Josh Jacobs.
Yep.
But also you have to talk about not just Josh Jacobs, but what helps Josh Jacobs.
Mm-hmm.
That offensive line. And last week, I don't care if everybody knew we was going to run. We should still be effective in the run game.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because that was our bread and butter. That's been our bread and butter. We're our team, and I've been saying this, is identified as run to pass. That's why the play action. That's why the play action comes in hard for us. You know what I'm saying? And with that being said, I think this offensive line knows that they didn't play well in the run game. So this is also their time to say, hey, we didn't forget that we can still run the ball. And yes, we last year we did have the top rusher in the NFL. So I'm hoping that this is a time that Josh Jacobs put some Gravy's top shelf oils in his chains and gets it really running.
Facts. Shout out to everybody that's in here. Yeah, shout out to Gravy. Shout out to Raider Ben, also in the building. What's good, Ben? Good to see you. Hope all is well. Shout out to Cool Kev in the building. He said he is the fantasy football shoe knight. I think Peters picks off Allen maybe twice. Oh, okay. Interesting prediction there. Come on, bro. Most of those ruddy yards came in 2 plays. Here's the thing. 127 yards, 10 carries for Breece Hall. 12.7 average yards for Breece Hall, which obviously one of his touchdowns came from an 83-yard run. A nasty 83-yard run, actually. I was surprised that he even ran. I don't think. I always knew Breece Hall was a good running back, but I did not think he would do something against a Buffalo Bills team. So you kind of see the weakness there in the Buffalo defense. Go ahead.
It's not about, oh, this person busted a 20-yard run, this person busted a 30-yard run, but if you have the average of and I don't know that I don't have the stats of the average of how much they ran per clip, but if they're running over 6 yards a carry,
6.1, yep.
They did 6.1?
6.1 yards per carry overall as a unit.
Exactly. So if they're doing that, then that ain't good at all. So that's what we're talking about, is you have to look at what happened after that, after Aaron Rodgers got hurt. After Aaron Rodgers got hurt, they weren't letting Zach Wilson throw the ball. So all they could do was rely on the run. So the defense knew that they were going to run the ball. And that means that if the defense know you're going to run the ball, what are they going to do? They're going to defend the run. So you're going to defend the run, and we're still running at you, and we're getting 6 yards a clip. That ain't good. So that's what we're talking about. It's not oh, this person busted a 20-yard on 2 plays or whatever. No. They just they knew the assignment, and they failed at the assignment.
At the end of the day, they ran over him. You allowed 172 yards rushing to a team that had a very young guy, Brees Hall, and a guy that just got traded away and pretty much kicked off, Dalvin Cook. And Dalvin Cook didn't even do too good. He actually had 13. Let me see the exact stats. 13 carries for 33 yards. So it was all Brees Hall majority of the time, cooking them. Shout out to Raider Chaos. He says, I seen somewhere something that said our pass blocking was the best in week 1. It was. They allowed 0 sacks. They pass protected the best in week 1 alone. That is 100% true, Raider Chaos, which is really good. I talked about it a little bit earlier. I don't know if you were here, but the offensive line looks great, and hopefully they continue that against a Buffalo team that has a really good defensive line that had a high percentage in pass rushing there. Shout out to Queen Raider in the building. What up, Queen? Good to see you. Gregor John in the building as well. What's good, Aaron? Good to see you as well. Shout out to EJ Raider, all joining us, man. Salute, salute, salute. Good to see everybody in here, man. And bum ass Hefe KC in the building as well, man. Fuck the Chiefs. Sorry, ass Chiefs. Shout out to everybody in here. If you guys can hit that like button, subscribe if you're new. We're both on my channel and also the Raider Twuan channel. So go help the algorithm.
And one of my mods, go ahead and handle that.
Mm-hmm.
Handle that.
Mm-hmm. You already know. I don't have my controller to pretend it's a goddamn. I don't have a controller.
I don't want to bring drama on this podcast, but if he comes up later, he's gonna get a full clip. So
I feel you. Shout out to Pyro. What's good, Pyro? Good to see you. Salute, salute. Hope all is well, Pyro. Good to see you, brother. Hopefully you had, I believe you were at the Denver game, right? Hopefully you had fun at the Denver game. I know you were having a blast because we won at the end of the day, so it's gonna look good. Now we go on to the defensive side of the ball on the Raiders side, right? In last week, Josh Allen got pressured 35% of the time and sacked 5 times last week. He got sacked 5 times by a New York Jets defense that consists of a lot of good people, actually. You have Jermaine Johnson there. You know, you obviously have Quincy over there. John Franklin Myers, which got a sack there. Quentin Jefferson got 2, which we're very familiar with Quentin Jefferson, a guy that was on our team at a certain point. But yeah, so he got sacked 5 times. So what you feel about our defensive line against the Buffalo Bills that allowed 5 sacks last week?
I'm not really happy with our D line, and I feel like this is going to be. I'll talk more about that. In depth, but I think the D line that's definitely a room for improvement, and I think this is going to be a test for them to change that. And they have the challenge of Josh Allen. Because Josh Allen is definitely a quarterback that will, if he sees a crease, he's gonna streak his way out. You know what I'm saying, and hurt us. You know what I'm saying, with his legs. So, I hope they do. I hope they do. That's probably the best thing you can say.
Yeah, and obviously the when it comes to the Raiders defensive line has always been a question when it comes to pressures. We've always were last in sacks and all these things, and it kind of concerns me when it comes to all these things with the Raiders defensive line. Of course, Tyree Wilson needs to get in the motion of the NFL. I know a lot of people are already talking about how to say this, already talking about the whole Jalen Carter situation. I'm not gonna say anything about Jalen Carter yet. But I was a huge fan of Jalen Carter. I was rooting for him to come over here, but instead they went a different route. But when it comes to the Raiders defensive line, it has a lot of potential. Max Crosby in particular, again, at a consistent basis, play in, play out, play in, play out. And that's what I like a lot about Max Crosby. And when it comes down to the rest of the defensive line, the interior defensive line is what concerns me the most. Can this interior defensive line help Max Crosby, help Malcolm Coons, help Tyree Wilson? Can Malcolm Coons even get more snaps? I'm tired of them not giving snaps to Malcolm Coons. Like, give him a shot. Do stunts. Stunts is the best way to beat Buffalo in sacking Josh Allen. Just Raiders. Go watch what the New York Jets did. And you'll realize that all 5 of their sacks were mostly out of confusing their offensive line. So it's going to be very interesting on who they bring up from the practice squad as well, which kind of leads me to this question from Egalitarian here. Eric and Raider Twuan, do you think Isaiah Rochelle, which is I like Rochelle honestly, and Janoris Robinson will be brought up from the practice squad for this game? Do you think either of them get brought up or anybody else from the practice squad?
To be honest with you, I like Rochelle too. But I also am very optimistic on another name that's not on your list, and that's Jordan Willis. Jordan Willis is actually we just got him back onto the practice squad, and that was a player that I wanted, to be on this team. But I believe that was the battle between. I think the decision really came down to were they going to keep Kuntz or were they going to bring Willis back and bring Willis, and they decided to go with Kuntz. But I think Kuntz is still it can he get a couple of reps here and there? Yes, but is he going to be can he be that solid guy on the other side? I don't think so. I think his role is going to be just rotation. And there's a spot for that on any team in the NFL too. So, but yeah, I have Jordan Willis coming from the practice squad for that side, because we definitely the way that our D line is set up, we got Max Crosby. Obviously, we know what he can do. We got question marks at D tackles. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest with you. I'm not happy with any of our D tackles. And then, you have 2 defensive ends that are trying to figure it out, which is Kuntz and Tyree on the other side. So that's how I see our D line. But Jordan Willis would be the guy that I would bring up.
And that's interesting there with Jordan Willis. I like that too. And obviously there's people that are young that didn't really get that many snaps last week that I've seen. Nesta J. Severa, one of them. I see somebody. I think I skipped the comment. Somebody said something about Nesta earlier. I hope I see Palomal Sunday. I hope so too, man. Ayo, what's good? I see it. Twuan, salute nation. Shout out to OJ Raider in the building as well. And it's EJ that brought it up. Shout out to EJ. Bring up Nasty Nesta. And that's somebody that I would love to look at. And hopefully he gets some snaps over there, right? I think if Kuntz plays enough, he could be solid. This rotation thing is bullshit. Yeah, the way they rotate, they're like rotating it, right? It's a wheel rotating and then it stops. Like it doesn't fully rotate. Like it just goes boop, and then it stops. And that's how you see it. Like some people are not getting the snaps they deserve. And it kind of frustrates me. It's like, bro, give these guys a shot. I promise you they will be productive. I promise you.
I remember, and this is a different regime, but I remember one of the weeks that we actually beat the Chiefs, and we beat the Chiefs with all the D linemen that were practice squad guys. it was like they sat all the starters, and it was all the practice squad guys that we had at D line that came, and they were the ones that were putting pressure on Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? So if that's what we got to do, if we got to bring Nesta up to have Bilal Nichols, have some act right, and all these other dudes that we identified that were going to be our starters and whatever, like, just play the better player. I'm sorry, young or old. And that's kind of my issue. And not trying to go too far on the tangent, but that's kind of my issue with this organization. Like it seems like they want to always lean towards the veterans, and I'm like, I get that part of it, but at the same time, like if the veteran ain't doing it, go go see what the young guy got.
Mm-hmm.
You might be surprised that that young guy might actually be that guy for you. So I yeah, I hope they whoever they have at D line in the middle, specifically at D tackle, they better figure that out.
Yeah, and I see right here a question. He says, "Do you think Nesta J. Severo will be brought up for the practice squad?" Of course, I think so. I think he's already on the squad. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% on that. But I will give him a shot. A shot, like I said. Raider Best says, "I want to win now. I don't think Tyree gives us the best opportunity to win now." What do you feel about that? Do you think Tyree Wilson still needs time, so he should sit behind somebody like Malcolm Kuntz or somebody else from the practice squad, or do you think he should deserves the playtime he's getting?
He has to get the reps, and I understand that. Yeah, you know you want to put Kuntz there, and yeah, I want to see Kuntz because again he's supposed to be the older guy in the room or whatever. You know, not the oldest guy, but compared to Tyree, but I'm giving, and this is my line. I'm giving Tyree up to week 4
Mhm.
because he didn't have a preseason. So I'm counting these games up to week 4 as his preseason, and hopefully in between these weeks he gets it. I hope the light bulb pops for him and he gets to what we seen you know in college, and even the little flash that we saw, you know what I'm saying, the little when we first saw him and he jacked that lineman up, you know what I'm saying. Let's see him get to that, but I'm giving him up to week 4 to get it together because again he didn't have
Mhm.
a preseason. I would have loved for him to get preseason because that would have, you know, some of that stuff he could have worked that out, and then he would have been really ready for, you know, as best as possible for week 1. But it's kind of a wait, and
I
especially for the value that we have for him. He's a number 1 pick. The size and measurables are there. You kind of some things, like even with AOC, sometimes you just gotta wait and let it cook.
and that's the thing, right? For me right now, I just feel like they need to give Coons a little bit more snaps over Tyree Wilson. Nothing against Wilson, but that just means, hey, try to transition a little bit, make them transition, make them get the
Mm.
snap, but at the same time, transition smoothly, not instantly throw him out there, give him more snaps than any other person on the team, and hope for the best and hope for that one time. No, let him transition little by little. Let him sit behind, and then he'll be some fresh legs during a certain play, and he'll look better because he gets that fresh legs. And you give somebody that you know could give you a good shot at getting to the quarterback, like somebody like Malcolm Coons, and that would allow you to have a good rotation, and not only that, also give enough snaps to Tyree Wilson for him to smoothly get into transition. And that's a win-win if you ask me. Somebody that knows how to get to the quarterback doing the job and somebody that's smoothly transitioning.
And
What
and
off of that.
and whose responsibility is that? That's on coaching. You know what I'm saying? So we
Mhm.
need. I'm
Exactly.
I just want to put that out there that when we start looking at who we need to hold responsible, we need to hold the coaching responsible on that because they do. And I agree with you. I agree with you, Eric. I feel like they do need to have that you know, of course, give him the snaps, but don't force feed him all the, you know what I'm saying? Don't try to overload him. Just give him some here and there. You know what I'm saying? Let him, you know, truck along. Let him get that. But let Kuntz come in and let these other guys eat too. You know what I'm saying? Especially at this point, because I feel like it's an open audition on that
Mhm.
side of the ball. You know what I'm saying? Because Max Crosby ain't going nowhere. He's gonna be where he's at. But that whoever wants to play on the other side, hey, to me, it's an open competition.
Mhm. And I'm the same. I'm the same. Oh, let me first get to this comment. Shout out to Avikazi Raider, man. Shout out to the land down under in Australia. I appreciate you for being here. I know it's early in the morning for you over there, I believe. Shout out to interior is the weak spot of the defense until proven otherwise. Really need one of these young guys to step up, and that's a fact, right? And I'm exactly the same way with you, Ben, when it comes to Tyree Wilson. Everybody knows. If you guys didn't see my reaction, I don't know if I was I wasn't live for the first round of the draft this year. I was live last year, but this year I wasn't. I think I have a video though of my reaction to it. Um, I wasn't like hell yeah, but I also wasn't like oh bullshit either. I was like kind of like oh they went the Tyree Wilson route, and me I always heard rumblings about them getting Tyree Wilson. I was a Carter fan personally. I had five other defensive ends above him. I don't know if you guys seen my draft video where I had my list of top five in this position, top five in this position, top five in this position. I think I still have actually I think I do have the list that I had. Just to show you guys if you guys don't want to go back to that live. I didn't even have Tyree Wilson on my top five defensive ends. I Will Anderson, Miles Murphy, BJ Ojolari, Nolan Smith, and Derek Hall. That's it. And look at Christmas the second right there for safeties, top five safeties. So I like that pick for the Raiders. But see, overall, I had those five defensive ends. So I wasn't the hugest fan of Tyree Wilson, but I do believe that you need to, especially an injured player like this that needs a lot to work with, you need to smoothly transition him and not throw it out there. And you're throwing him out there right now. I didn't expect that. I didn't think that he would come back and easily be like, boom, go play a bunch of snaps. Malcolm Kuntz, you get less snaps. I don't know what the problem is with Malcolm Kuntz, bro. Ever since last year too, they haven't been giving him any snaps, man. It sucks to see. It's like, what's bad about him? Like I every time he's been out there on the field, he's gave it his all, and he's gotten arguably more pressures than a lot of our starting defensive lines. But that's like Twan said, it's the coaching and it sucks. But we can't do nothing about it. We can only talk about it and they have to do their job and hopefully whatever do is right, right? Um Maybe they're trying to get an overnight result with Wilson. It looks like it, man. And it sucks because it's like you gotta smoothly transition a player like that. He's a good player. Like I said, you can't teach wingspan, you can't teach length, you can't teach the speed, but you could teach the fundamentals. And that comes with time, especially after an injury and transitioning at the same time to the NFL and living up to that first round top 10 pick. It gets the pressure to some of these rookies' heads. I was like, oh my God, I got picked in the first round. I got picked at the sixth pick. I need to get my shit together. I need to do good. I need to do good. But, you know,
That's why I'm giving him at least to week 4.
yeah,
You
I'm
know what I'm
giving him a
saying?
little
Like
bit more time.
if he's still slow, if he's slow getting off the ball again and you know doing stuff like that, yeah, I'm gonna be like, there go my side eye emoji. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give him the side eye. Like, what was y'all doing, picking him out? Round 1.
And it looks like a cool cut, right? Kuntz is not a favorite of this regime. He's just not. It's obvious already. Surprised they kept him on the roster if they're just gonna do him like that. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see what they do this week. I hope there's a lot of rotation. I think there will be a lot of rotation, but only time will tell with that. Of course, transitioning into their their run game, entering this game, they of course have James Cook, which didn't run the ball pretty well. 12 attempts, 46 yards, which is 3.8 yards per carry. It's like average, below right below average, a little bit average. But the main thing with James Cook is that he was the second most targeted in receiving on the team. And of course, Josh Allen ran for 6 attempts, 36 yards, 6 yards per carry. So you could, of course, Josh Allen knows how to run the ball. We need to contain that. We seen it against Russell Wilson. He got let loose a lot. You need to contain that. That's why I'm kind of like, damn, Chandler Jones. He was good at containing, but sadly, the things that are going on. Hopefully, still praying for the guy. Hopefully, he's good. But at the end of the day, he's not playing this week. So who knows when he's gonna come back? But James Cook, he was the second most targeted last week. Can the Raiders cover that? We always struggled with running backs when it comes to them receiving. Twan, that's the question for you, man. He was the second most targeted. Do you
Why
feel
are
that the
you?
Raiders could get him?
Why? You asked me the question, and I'm over here like, why are you asking me this? I don't want to answer this one. God,
Putting you on the
because
spot, man. Putting you on the
no,
spot.
because you. Hey, look, y'all know me. I'm gonna tell y'all how I think, how I feel, and some of y'all don't like it, and whatever. I get killed for it all the time. I got killed about it last night, telling Philly how I feel.
What was it? What was it?
This is a dangerous situation
Mm.
because if you watch our games, pass rush is doing what pass rush is doing. Coverage is good. Coverage is doing the best they can. And what is the last option for the quarterback before throwing it out of bounds?
The back.
The check down.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the check down is wide open. It there's like 6 yards guaranteed on a check down. And you have Cook, who may not be good at running through the tackles, but can be very dangerous on the boundary. So that means you're and it can possibly work for us because Peters is on the outside and he's a good tackler. Bennett is on the outside. He seems like he can wrap up well. But if you're expecting for Spillane to chase down Cook, if we ever see Spillane chasing down Cook, it ain't gonna be pretty. Okay, so that means it depends on who they deploy.
Yeah.
Can we, you know what I'm saying? Can we put Diablo over there? Is the scheme going to be set up to where Diablo's going to be, checking for that? If it's Diablo and the way that he played last week, cool. I think we might have something there. But if that's Spillane's assignment, and this is on the outside. This is not in between the tackles. This is not, Spillane coming downhill. This is Spillane going sideways. It might be a dangerous situation. That means our safety might have to make the tackle. Mm-hmm. And if the safety's making the tackle from a running back, that means he must have gained some yards. So we definitely got to keep an eye on this situation. Can it be fixed? Yes. I'm not saying that it's a wash, but they definitely got to keep an eye on it because if he can dump it and James Cook can shake Spillane, it might be a problem.
Facts. And I want Morg in the box this week. That would be an interesting one. I kind of want to see Palomel there, in my opinion. Spillane isn't a great coverage guy, but he can run. His athleticism is underrated. I do feel like the one thing that gives me a lot of hope in this linebacker core is Diablo. I mean, Diablo played an excellent job last week. I think he's somebody that you got to put on that running back, man. Um, of course, last week, their backup running back, I forgot his name, something with an S or something, or Perrine or something. He got a catch for more than 20 yards coming from the backfield. So, you could do the most of that. It could easily turn from a 1 yarder to 20 yarder with us. But at the end of the day, I think Diablo is really somebody that so far off of just 1 week that what I've seen, I could only analyze what we have seen so far is that he did good in training camp. He got the green dot in training camp. He looked really good, was the leader, and then went instantly into the first game and played really well. So that's what gives me hope in covering the running back for James Cook and him being the second in target. And I think mostly it had to do with him not being able to have too much time to throw the ball as well. So he kind of had to check it down. He kind of had to target his running back. So for me, I think Diablo should be on him. Our best bet is Diablo. On another sense, I would say you would have to put in your slot corner on him. In case your nickel corner, in case things happen in the wrong way. Um, he says, I told you Diablo's going to be nice. Everyone was shitting on him. I was one of them that was like, I don't see superstar qualities in him. because everybody was making it seem like he's gonna be the best linebacker of all the NFL. Hell no, I still believe to this day that he's not. But I do think that he's decent enough to do good and step up, especially after all he did in the offseason. So I did think he was gonna take a step up, but I never was on the train of calling him a superstar. To be honest,
Yeah, I never I didn't call Diablo trash. I felt like after he gained after he gained some weight, I thought that was going to help him being a linebacker. But I did have a question mark in regards to Diablo, because we didn't know what we were going to get out of Diablo, and just based off again the we can only go off of what we saw in week 1. You know what I'm saying? That's what we can pull from. And based off of what we saw in week 1, if he can continue that, then he'll be fine. But like I said, that means it. And with that being said, you have, if we're putting Diablo on, that James Cook assignment, that means Spillane now is in coverage. You know what I'm saying? That means Spillane is, in the middle of the field playing playing middle of the field. So we'll see how that works, or who they decide to, key in on that.
Diablo made a great play in the red zone. He did. It doesn't have to be a superstar. Just know, do your job. Do your job. Exactly. I just want to see the Raiders defense intercept a couple of errant passes by Josh Allen. Josh Allen be throwing YOLO passes. Raiders defense needs to capitalize on that. And that's a fact, right? It all has to do with the cornerback's hands and the safety's hands. And that's been a thing of recently, that hasn't been the best at all.
And we have to, and I agree with you with the whole YOLO, you know what I'm saying, chuck ups, but you know what that's you know what started that? Pass rush. The pass rush started, you know what I'm saying, started that, and he was like, I gotta make a play. And you know what I'm saying? But if Josh Allen is able to just sit there without, you know what I'm saying, then it might be a different situation. So definitely the D line is really going to have to have their way, especially if we're looking at how they played, you know what I'm saying, with the Jets. The Jets, their D line ain't no joke. And that's why you've seen a lot of the situation of the way that, you know what I'm saying, Josh Allen played. So hopefully our D line gets the job done. So when those balls are in the air, we can pick them off.
Facts. And he said, best thing Graham did so far is keeping Amik on the bench. Oh, don't say that, Cooker. Because, hey, I ain't gonna lie, don't start the Amik talk. You know where I stand with Amik and Twuan. I know where Twuan stands on Amik, and I know other people. Hey, don't get that conversation started. Hey, that's what Cool Kev said. That's not what I said. Let me state that. That's what Cool Kev said. I didn't say that.
Hey, if you want a DB to catch the ball, you better put Amik out there.
He said also have to account for tight ends Knox and Kincaid. Kincaid was arguably the best tight end coming out of that draft class. Knox, I think Josh will target them more in the short passing game to try to get him in a rhythm. That'll be interesting. Adam Butler nor John Jenkins give good interior pressure, and that's why rotation comes in, right? Give these younger guys a little bit of a more play, right? John Jenkins is like 37 years old, I think. So go out there, put some Nesta J Severa, some nasty Silvera out there, man, and make them do some work. Hashtag Short Kings stick together. He still play for us. Who? You're talking about Amik?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still on the roster. He made the 53-man roster. Let me see. Adam Butler is very underwhelming. I feel they're gonna have to blitz more if Max can't get any help. And Kuka says the same thing. Blitzing is the most important thing in the NFL nowadays, because if you blitz, most likely you're going to get to the quarterback.
But also, if you blitz, that means you're taking one more player away from your coverage. So that's you're yes, you're putting a blitz on it, but that back end better be with the program, because if they're not, it can also hurt you too. So
Yeah.
um those are the things that our coaching staff have to make decisions on and look at, especially with our personnel. You know what I'm saying? We were talking about, taking care of James Cook, but that also means who's going to be on the tight end, like you said, like who's going to be on their tight end, and is that going to be an issue for us? So it all comes down to what Graham wants to do and how he wants to do with our personnel.
And that's a fact. And I hope I see a little bit more Isaiah Palomalo this week in that box on the tight end. That's a guy that is big enough to cover a tight end and go up with the tight end and has the ability to cover in the box. But like at the end of the day, we still got some people out there that could do the job. It's just how is he gonna shape up the defense? Is he gonna make any adjustments? That's the most important thing. Is he gonna make any adjustments? I hope so. I really hope so. Um, so we go see what happens with there. And of course, I see all eyes already talked about it. It's like he read my banners or something, man. Peters on Diggs, and we go on to what I like to call matchup spotlight. I got two of them in particular. Number one, kind of all I said right there. Diggs on Peters. That's a matchup to look forward to this weekend. Of course, Stephon Diggs did really good against the Jets. He had 102 yards and 10 receptions, a touchdown, 18 being his longest, and 13 targets, 10.2 on average against the Jets, which of course was, I believe, mostly Sauce Gardner was on him, which Sauce Gardner is not no slouch either. So he put up 102 yards there for that. And Marcus Peters, in my opinion, he said, I got the script. Marcus Peters didn't do really too well last week. But what do you feel about this matchup right here, man? You're looking forward to it here, Diggs versus Peters?
It's going to be interesting to watch, but it might be a tough situation because you have, the I think Peters could hang with Diggs, but he's going to need help from other pieces. And I have to go back to the D line, because if the D line is giving Allen, all day, he's going to find his number one target. And even with Sauce Gardner on him, there was actually one drive that really sticks out to me, and literally he went down the field. Josh Allen went down the field, throwing it to Diggs. It was like first down, Diggs. Next play, line up, throw it to Diggs again. Okay, we're moving the chains. And it was throwing it to Diggs almost the whole time down the field. So that is a possibility that can happen if Josh Allen locks in and that pass rush doesn't get home. Because again, the pass rush dictates how long the corner is covering. And I feel like the battle would go to Diggs in that situation if the pass rush can't get home.
Facts. And he says Diggs on Peters with the safety behind him just in case. That's a smart decision right there. A good matchup is to look at Max Crosby versus Spencer Brown. They're left. That would be an interesting one too. I didn't put that one, but I should have put that one. That one's an interesting matchup there. But I think Max Crosby wins that. Obviously, he wins a lot of them. Honestly, Bennett and a safety on Diggs, and Peters will shadow Gabe Davis. Okay, that's an interesting one. Diggs going to dice up old man Peters. I think Bennett gets the Diggs assignment. Y'all think Bennett? I hate to admit this, but I think Diggs will smoke Peters this game. It's gonna be interesting how they match up. I think they're gonna target the younger guys. I think they will target Ja'Cory Bennett more. This is where Ja'Cory Bennett needs to step up. We know what he's capable of. We know he's good enough to be out there as a starter. The question is can he live up to the Buffalo atmosphere? Buffalo is not an easy place to play. Not only especially for a West Coast team, but just their fans in general. arguably one of the most ferocious fans, throwing each other on tables, WWE in the parking lot people. So they're not afraid to make some noise and really make the opponent kind of shake in their boots. But can Jacorian Bennett play in those circumstances? I think he can. But only time will tell with that. And hopefully you can't stop Diggs completely, but you could slow him down. And
Mhm.
that's all we ask, right? He could easily go for 60 yards. I wouldn't care. As long as you get the job done to prevent him from scoring in the end zone. That's all you need to do. Prevent him from scoring in the end zone, and you're good from there.
And, and
So
and we know that when just because we know how Josh Allen is, he's that risk taker, and we know that Stephon Diggs is the number one. If even if that if the line does collapse, he's still gonna when all else fails, he's gonna chuck it up to Diggs. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta be ready on that. And I think with Bennett, as good as I think Bennett will be, I think he's going to have to take his lumps as a rookie, and these NFL teams know that there's am I going to test Marcus Peters, or am I a veteran, or am I going to test a rookie on the other side? In most cases, the coach is going to say, go ahead and test the rookie.
exactly, and hopefully, like Charles Washington says, Bennett has that dog in him. Can't wait till Sunday. I'm very excited for this game because not only will we get a better understanding of this team and where they're at, but we'll get. I think it's gonna be a really good game, an entertaining game at that. And um, I hope the Raiders come out on top, man. But only time will tell with them. Of course, shout out to Raider Chaos. He says I got WWE tickets to Sweets tomorrow night. I'm getting lit. Hey, congrats, bro. Hopefully you enjoy that and stay safe, man. Of course. Just don't look at Diggs' feet. Buffalo got some serious winter. Oh my God, Cool Kev. I almost read the hell out of that shit. Cool Kev always with this goddamn. What's up with Cool Kev, man? He almost got me. He almost got me. He
Hey,
almost got me.
hey,
He
hey,
almost
Cool
got me.
Kev got them crazy feet. You know what I'm saying?
He does. He does. He does. He does. He almost got me with that. That's insane. But anyways, the next matchup that I put on here is kind of on the opposite end. Adams versus Tre'Davious White. They're a matchup to look at because we have a good wide receiver of our own, man. I don't know if you guys know this receiver by the name of Devontae Adams. And this guy could be any corner at any time. He's not scared of any competition about there. So salute to Raw Gas. He says, salute Eric. Love to be the underdog. It's going to be hard, but let's go with the dog attitude and let's get that W. That's a fact, Raw Gas. Twan, what you feel about this matchup, man, on the other side of the field
I like the Bills secondary as a whole,
as a whole?
and I it just depends on how they game plan. Devontae. You know what I'm saying? Is McDaniel saying, hey, let's draw some things up, and let's get Da more active. I think, of course, in the Broncos game, I think he played the role of the decoy, and he was kind of okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Especially because Jacoby Myers was over there eating a buffet. But you know, I would like to see how they get Da involved
Yeah.
in the game plan. And I think one-on-one, I think Da, I think he'll get him, but I just don't want to um assume that they're just going to have he's going to have a field day, because I think their defense is going to want to um
Adams, yeah.
take away Adams. You know what I'm saying? So, but even in that's all up to coaching. You know what I'm saying? That defenses are going to try to take away your main player, but what are you doing to draw up plays to get your main dog a bone? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Last week, as a New York Jets whole, the Buffalo Bills secondary allowed 140 yards on 14 receptions and a touchdown at 24 being the longest, and of course that game-winning touchdown by Garrett Wilson himself, which he went 5 receptions for 34 yards and 1 touchdown. So stats wise, they did really well on making sure that Zach Wilson was covered pretty much. But but the main thing is I think it comes down to the running backs, man. I think it comes down to Josh Jacobs, and I think it's that time. But as far as this matchup goes, Devontae and Tre'Davious is gonna be an interesting one. Devontae Adams is somebody that could beat majority of the corners in the league, and he's another wide receiver where you can't stop him, but you could slow him down some way somehow. Um, and some may say that last week they did exactly that. I would disagree. When you look over the game, Adams was open a lot of the times. He just didn't get some of the looks, which is hey, it's understandable. Jacoby Myers was cooking, and Jimmy Garoppolo was still doing his thing. But Devontae is a guy that could get open. I mean, if you guys looked at his let me actually I think I still have the audio. Let me see if I could play the audio for you guys if you guys have not seen this audio. Um is it this one? No, it's not.
Based off of what you're doing.
Is it this
And I
one?
put my Terminator mask on, and if you right here in
Okay, so this is Devontae Adams on how he likes to play against other corners and stuff like that.
front of me, I drop down to scroll 3 ideas of something that I want to do based off of, and this is pre-snap. So that's when the plan B kick in based off what you do. Because, I come off and I got the patented, what I'm saying, I skip off and kind of hop off the ball. Yeah. But it's really an illusion, and I could talk about it. I could talk about it all day because at the end of the day, it's about the presentation. Like if you in front of me and I make you feel like I really want to get inside, and I really show you everything that looks like I'm getting inside, you got to respect that. And if you don't, I'm going to go inside, and I'm gonna figure out a way to go do it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. It's really about the route discipline, and I get up there, like I said, I scroll down, three ideas of something I want to do, you right in my face. You playing soft shoe press, and you about 2 yards off, boom, I got 3 for that. You off 5 yards and you squatting on me, I got 3 for that. I'm gonna get up to you. It's all about just killing that space and attacking, making DBs uncomfortable. And then now it's real life. It ain't about them drills you did, them backpedal drills you going and doing your 45. All of that is out the window when 1-7 running full speed at you, and I'm gonna get this close before I make a move, and then it might be a plan B, but I'm gonna make it look like play one.
Hey, like that was crazy. First off,
That boy Adams be talking that smack, rightfully so. He says he's got anything for anybody playing in any way, man. And that's what I like about Devontae Adams and his play style. The reason why he's been so successful, and I think he deserves a ring, man. He deserves a ring because he's a great, phenomenal player, and hopefully that ring is with us. And I do expect that. I do hope that Devontae Adams could cook anybody. He said it himself, man. He's got 3 if you're close. He's got 3 if you're back. He's got 3 if you're on the side. If you're double teaming, he's got 3 different routes already. And McDaniels lets him do whatever he wants on that. And that's why he gets open so many times. DeAndre Carter was open. I did not see that play in particular, but DeAndre Carter is a good slot receiver too. But this kind of takes us. And any final thoughts on this matchup, Twan, before I lead to the final thoughts?
No, I just feel like DA is gonna. It's all on how McDaniels wants to get him involved, and I think he needs to draw up something that gets our guy active.
Yep. And in fact, Devontae is 3 for 1. We're 2 for 1 over here. He's 3 for 1 over there when it comes to his route running. So here we go. Give me. It doesn't have to be a set amount, but give me your keys to the game, and then your final thoughts, Twan, on this game, man. What's your keys to the game?
I'll say D-line. I think our D-line is going to have to get home when they need to get home, but they also need to stay disciplined because this quarterback can beat us, not just not just with his arm, but he can beat us with his legs. He can move the chains with his legs. And if we're not being disciplined, you know what I'm saying, in our gap assignments, then we're going to run into a lot of trouble. I've seen a lot of times, and I'll say this in regards to our best defensive linemen, I've seen a lot of times where, Max Crosby will do a pass rush that rolls him in instead of out, and that quarterback will go out, and there's nobody there to clean up the contain on the outside, and we need to be more disciplined in that, especially with this type of quarterback. We got away with it with Russell Wilson because he's not that, Seattle running type of quarterback like he was. Now, can he get out a little bit, when he needs to? Yeah, here and there. But Josh Allen, he's a different type of, saying, when it comes to his legs. So I'm really looking at the D-line. I think that's the key to the game is our D-line.
Mm. And any other keys right there besides the D-line?
Get everybody involved. I want to see. I want to see. Of course, I think the running game is going to be, that's going to be our come out party. For Josh Jacobs and that offensive line dominating themselves, etching themselves in being a dominant offensive line. But I want to see I want to see a Renfro sighting. I want to see my hot dog has a first name, Michael Mayer or whatever you want to call him. Just spread it around. Spread it around.
I feel that. And for me, the keys to the game is the running back, Josh Jacobs. I mean, he's going to be a key factor in this game. A Buffalo's defense that may be good in the past, but when it comes to the rushing, they're not the best. And maybe they're game planning for the rush, and that's when you take advantage of Adams and all these guys on that wide receiver front. Another one is coaching. I think coaching is going to play a big factor in this. And what I mean by coaching is adjustments. Adjustments. If something ain't working, adjust. Don't sit there and just change and not change anything when things aren't working out. Or if things are working out, don't change it, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it at the end of the day. So that's something to monitor. And my other key to the game would pretty much, my third and final key to the game for me, I would say take advantage. I wouldn't say take advantage. Give me 6, don't give me 3. And points wise, give me a touchdown, don't give me a field goal. You need to put a points on the board against a Bills team that could easily come back at any time, any given moment. So keep putting your gas on the pedal. Keep. I mean your foot on the pedal. My bad. Your foot on the pedal. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Don't play this conservative bullshit that you're up 2 touchdowns and you think you're safe, because you ain't safe in this league. You're never safe. So go out there, score points. Every drive you get, try to take as much as possible. If you could get 3 points, get 3 points. If you could get more, get more. But at the end of the day, keep putting points on the board. Take advantage of drives and take advantage of takeaways as well. We're gonna see 2 of the best tight end rookies in Mayer and Kincaid. That's facts. They were the 2 top tight ends in the draft. So hey, hopefully they cook something up for Mayer, man. And let me get to this before we get to the final thoughts. I started for you, Twuan. Twuan apparently is a genius. Everybody was clowning Twuan for taking 3 quarterbacks, but he took 3 quarterbacks for a reason. Rodgers goes down for the season. Twuan, go ahead. Let us know how you do that.
Aha. Okay, so I picked 3 quarterbacks. Everybody was killing me for it. There's options in here. I could either traded a quarterback away and got something for it, like, because if I before Aaron Rodgers got hurt, I could have traded Aaron Rodgers and then said, hey, I'm giving you Aaron Rodgers. I need a wide receiver. I need a running back. That means I'm upgrading my roster by picking a running back, an extra quarterback, because the quarterback that was sitting there, the option was you either come see me or you go get Russell Wilson. So that was the option in the fantasy. So my shop was open. I have Jalen Hurts, I had Aaron Rodgers, and I have Deshaun Watson. Okay, so right now I currently have Hurts and Deshaun Watson. But even with that being said, having 3 quarterbacks I could either trade it or, again, quarterback get hurt, right? What happened? Aaron Rodgers got hurt.
You got hurt. Yep.
So even if I went with two quarterbacks and then my quarterback got hurt, then that means I got one good quarterback and then the other quarterback is like Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
so there's a method to my madness. I really wish I could have traded him before he got hurt, and then I would have got stuff for almost free. But I'm not losing because I picked up a quarterback.
Well, yeah, for me, I lost both of my games, both leagues. It was tough. I played the best scoring people magically on both leagues. One league, I lost by 10 points to a guy that put over 145 points on the board, and that was the most scoring from anybody. I was the second most scoring in the whole league that week, so I just played the best, and I played the best on the other one, which I lost to Omar because goddamn Justin Fields, what the fuck are you doing, bro? What are you doing, bro? Please, Fields, I picked you early. Yeah, so it's supposed to be field season in Chicago, and you absolutely got annihilated by the Packers. So please do something. But besides that, I feel confident this week. I got two receivers in the Raiders Outsiders League that we're in. My boy Jordan Addison from USC over there for the Vikings, and Devontae Smith on the Eagles side, which is Thursday night football. It's one to watch today, man. Two high-powered offenses. Go check it out. If you like the NFL in general, man. Today, Thursday night football. But besides that, I have confidence. I'm gonna be 1-1 after this week on both leagues, man. So I ain't sweating it. I ain't sweating, and I'm good. I'm good, man. I'm good. But now I know not to put Justin Fields against the Packers because the Packers just own the Chicago. They just own them. Like it's crazy. Jordan Love beat. Yeah, never mind. I'm not gonna get into it. Anyways, on that, go ahead.
And also, Auntie Six, just to let you know, I'm not. I'm a chaplain for a reason. I'll leave that there.
In fact, so shout out to everybody, man, and of course, if anybody's in the pigskin pick'ems, right? Everybody's doing shows about picking for the season. These are mine, and if Twuan wants to give me a quick rapid of who he thinks is gonna just quick this team or this team, these are my picks. Obviously, the Chiefs and Jacksonville. Who do you think wins there, Twuan?
Chiefs.
Okay. I have Jacksonville there. I have the upset there. The Colts and Texans.
I got the Texans.
Okay. The Niner. Why the hell? The Niners and Rams.
Niners.
The Giants, Cardinals.
Giants.
Okay. We the same there. Jets, Cowboys.
Oh God.
I might have to switch it low key. Hold on. I forgot Zach Wilson's the quarterback.
Yeah, I was gonna say Cowboys.
What the Cowboys did to the Giants was absolutely embarrassing, man. That was sad. Washington, Denver.
Commando.
Okay. Miami Patriots.
I got the fish.
Okay. New Orleans Panthers.
Derek Carr.
Cleveland Browns, the Steelers.
Someone's gonna flame me for that. Oh
They're gonna
God.
flame you, bro. They're gonna flame you for that, bro.
Look,
They're gonna flame you for that, bro.
hey, unsubscribe and subscribe again. The Browns.
And that's it.
And click the like button because I like you guys.
Facts. And I'm 12-3 so far. You feel me? I did really good last week. You feel me? The only ones I got wrong, I believe. Hold on, let me check. Was the Vikings game. I got wrong. What else? The Seattle Seahawks game I got wrong, and the Bears. That's about it.
You picked the Cowboys?
Yeah.
Okay.
I picked the Cowboys. I knew, yeah. Their defense is always a high scoring defense, man, every year, but they always choke in the playoffs. I don't know what it is over there. But see, you feel me? Those were the picks right there. Of course, Jacksonville right there, the Niners, of course, Washington, the normal Baltimore Saints, whatever's. But besides that, that was the quick little rapid thing, little funny thing there. Any final thoughts, Twuan, before we head on out here where they could find you and stuff like that?
Raider Twuan. You know what I'm saying? Raider Twuan on YouTube. I do at least 2 lives a week and drop to at least 2 videos. That's kind of like the base of my schedule, but I add a whole bunch of stuff in between that. I'm trying to be as active as possible when it comes to giving you guys my thoughts on the Raiders. Definitely come check me out on Raider Twuan. Quit playing with yourself. Subscribe. Hit me up on IG at Twuan TWUAN. If you need prayer for you or your family members, again, I am the chaplain of the NWA and the chaplain of the nation. So definitely, I'm here for all within the nation. And also, you guys, if you guys are interested in being an organ donor, you guys can hit me up. In any of my videos, the link is in the description, or you can hit me up on IG and say, hey, give me the information in regards to being an organ donor. So definitely be an organ donor.
Facts. And on me, SC Experience, man, on all platforms. S.C experience, and of course on Instagram S.C _experience. You see my nightbot going crazy there, man, with the Instagram link right there. Just click on that link, man. Graphics and more stuff like that, and also um also all the links that were put in, please go over there. And shout out to all the mods, man, for doing their jobs today, man. I seen you guys working out there, banning who you needed to ban, and getting stuff done, man. At the end of the day, man, we're all about Raiders content here, man. We're all about having a good time on the 241 Nation podcast, of course, man, with me, SC Experience, and Raider Twuan, man. All things Raiders, man. We're excited for the Bills game and Raiders game, man. Twan, do you have a prediction for this game before we head on out here, as far as win, loss, or score?
You know what, to be honest with you, I don't want to give a score to this game. I think we have an opportunity to win this game, but if we come in like we played last week, I think we might, if we fool around, we're gonna find out. And I think that's, we can't play around with this team. So if we're in a situation, and I'll play this situation in your guys' head, if we're in the fourth quarter and we're down 7, I think we can be able to, you know what I'm saying, or we need a touchdown to win in the fourth quarter. I think we can get it done. But if we're not close in the fourth quarter, I don't think that's going to be the case for us. So if they come, like I said, if they come in like they played last week, then I think we'll lose. But if they improve on the things that they need to improve on, I think we have the opportunity to definitely get the win. I think the Bills have a lot of pressure on them themselves because they lost a game that they shouldn't have lost, and they have the mentality that they are a playoff team. So with that being said, they don't want to go 0-2. So there's a lot of pressure on them where, yeah. So we'll see how that works for them, or how that goes against them. But there's a lot of pressure. I feel like out of both teams, I think the more the pressure is on the Bills.
Yep. And for me, I have no prediction. I don't know. Honestly, I'm just keeping this game on. It's gonna be a very close game. I don't think no team is gonna dominate. I do think we have a high possibility of winning. I do believe that. I have confidence in this Raiders team entering Buffalo. I'm not scared or anything like, oh my God, it's Buffalo. Oh, we're screwed. No. I'm confident in this team. I'm confident in what we got, and it's time to show it for the second week, and show not only us but show everybody what we're made of, man, and show them that they could keep underdogging us and they could keep telling us that we're nothing, but we're gonna show you that we're something. This Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11, 12, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for everybody that is, of course, in the East Coast. The game is early in the West Coast. I hate 10 a.m. games, but you know what? I'm gonna wake up regardless.
Right.
It's the Raiders at the end of the day, man. So on behalf of me, SC Experience and Raider Twuan, man, we appreciate you guys for coming again for another episode of the 241 Nation, of course, podcast. in Raiders Buffalo game preview, man. Week 2. I'm excited, man. And good luck to everybody in their fantasy teams. Good luck to everybody in the pigskin. Blessings to you guys and your families. Hope all is well. Hit that like button for both of us. And also subscribe if you're new. And we appreciate all the support that you guys have gave us. And it's only up from here, man. The Raiders, hey, get the job done, man, on Sunday. 1 week at a time. On that note, y'all, remember, tough times never last, but tough people do, man. You guys are some tough people, man. And remember, life is too short, so always tell your loved ones you love them. And Twuan, it's always a pleasure, man, to have you sharing a panel with you, man. It's always a good time. And yeah, on that note, y'all, it was the SC Experience, aka boy Eric, man, and Raider Twuan, also known as just Twuan. Catch you later. Peace.